Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Y'all, today I'm going to be cooking an entire country soul food meal using only products sent to me from Temu. Not only products sent to me from Temu, but mostly products sent to me from Temu. As you see here, the Dutch oven, measuring glass, I'm going to use all this because people try to give Temu a bad rap and say that they don't have good quality items, and I'm just here to see if they do or they don't. Yeah, I got about $300 worth of products, and you can check some of those out too. Speaking of, y'all, Temu is running a new spring promotion right now where you can get $20 off of your merchandise, and it's very easy to do. All you have to do is have a new account, and then you go in and enter my code KAB6724, and then you can get $20 off. That simple. And if you don't have a new account, don't worry. You can sign up also by just using a different email than you may have used previously. So with that being said, it's really just that simple. You enter that code in the search bar and it gives you that $20 off. And so right here you see when you use my code, you'll know because some of the products that you see in this video will pop up, and that's that. Also, if you didn't know, you can Temu has an array of things that you can use in and outside the kitchen. They have things you use for your hair, your car. They have everything imaginable, and a lot of that stuff is very, very, very good quality, contrary to popular belief. Temu also has a huge snack inventory that is maybe snacks that you are familiar with, as far as, you know, Doritos or Snickers bars and stuff, and then they also have exotic snacks that we don't have here in the States. Temu also has a wide array of camping gear and things that you can use outdoors. So please, please, please don't forget to get over there, y'all. You take advantage of this spring offer. Use that $20 off coupon. All right, y'all, back to the video. So right here, I'm just boiling some eggs for the deviled eggs because of that. I got a nice deviled egg tray from them, and this is their Dutch oven that they sent me. And I'm going to be making some stewed chicken, and it's a really good quality, as you can probably tell. It's got a nice inside, ceramic inside, and it's very heavy cast iron. And see, what I'm doing right now is just browning some chicken thighs off in here, just getting ready to sear them down so that they can slow cook and for my stew. But so far, this Dutch oven is just as good quality of anything that I've used before. And I've used Lodge, and there's another brand that I've used, but this brand definitely stands up to it. Same thing, y'all. I just have some legs. Also, I use all dark meat for this stewed chicken. And once it's all done, I went in with some yellow onion. That I took a whole yellow onion that I chopped up, and I'm just going to use it to deglaze the bottom of the pan and get all that goodness from the chicken browning on the bottom. Now, usually, it just depends. I know a lot of people may not like to use the skin whenever they're making stewed chicken or any type of thing like that, but I will go into the pot with the skin because it also has flavor, y'all. So, but anyway, like I said, I'm just taking my my spatula and I'm stirring these onions around vigorously to brown them up, and also, like I said, to deglaze the bottom of the pan and get all that goodness up so they can go in. Right here, I'm just gonna go in with some this is some Herbox chicken bouillon. This is my favorite chicken bouillon to use. I'm pretty generous with that. And then after that, I put in some other seasonings of choice, some herbs, some thyme, rosemary, black pepper, lemon pepper, not too much, you know, different things in there. And I was probably pretty heavy-handed with the no salt, onion, and herb from Mrs. Dash. And I just want to put in enough water to cover the chicken thighs. I probably could have put a little less, but it really just depends. I wanted to make sure I had enough of liquid at the end because I want to be eating this with rice, so I just definitely wanted to make sure I have a more gravier type of you know, situation, as opposed to just, you know, really a more thick situation. But main thing is just that they pretty much are able to, you know, cover the chicken for the most part. And then once that was all good, I brought it to a boil and then reduced the heat and put the lid on and then turn the heat to low. Like I said, I reduced it. So these are my eggs once they're done and peeled. And here's a stew pot that I got, y'all. I've never seen this stew pot before. Mine came with a wooded lid. I think the image is wrong for that, but this is a unique stew pot. I think it's an Asian pot. It comes with a wooded lid, and I'm going to be making my greens in here. I'm going to make some collards and cabbage. And I just start off with my smoked turkey wings and my chicken broth. Put it in the pot, and I'm just going to let that come to a boil and get to where, you know, the meat is starting to tenderize a little bit. And then once we got there, which Exhibit A, I did take the big part of the wing out, and then I'm going to go in with my greens. Now, with that being said, these are bad greens. I don't want you to hear me. I mean, I don't want to hear nobody talking about some bad greens, this, bad greens, that. Yes, these are bad. I did not feel like cutting up no collard greens. When you got to film and you're doing this by yourself, it's a lot of work. And so, like, maybe one day I will cut up the greens. But today, it was bagged greens all day. I just picked out the biggest stems and the parts that looked a little funny, and I washed them, and then they went in the pot. All right, here, this is another pan I got from Temu. This pan, is one of my favorite items. I don't know, something about it I really like, and I'm just gonna use it to saute some onions off that are gonna be going into those greens as well. I know some people just put the raw onions in there and let it cook. I always like to saute my onions down no matter what, usually, no matter what I'm making. And here it is, my greens with a little butter, and then my seasonings of choice. And then I just put those onions in there. They haven't finished wilting down yet, so I'm not gonna stir anything right this second. I'm just gonna put those greens in. I'm just gonna put those onions in there on top, and then I'm gonna close it back up and just let that finish wilting down into the liquid, and then move on, y'all. I didn't show too much of this, but this is also a jar that I got from Temu. We always keep a lot of honey, so I had never used a jar to store my honey, so I decided why not. And so far so good. I used my honey in this video to make honey butter for the biscuits gonna make. You didn't see that part, but it did happen. And this is one of the mixing bowls that I got. I love a good mixing bowl, metal mixing bowl, you know, to help me out in the kitchen. And this one didn't disappoint. I did wish it was a little bigger, but they do have bigger sizes, so I probably will go back on Temu and use use that code to get me a bowl, because you know what I'm saying, why not? Remember to use that bowl, use that coupon and get what you want, because yeah. So I just took my eggs and separated them and put the yolks in here. I like to break the yolks down really fine for my deviled eggs to where it looks kind of like that. And then I didn't show myself putting the seasonings and the relish in there because it's kind of a secret recipe, because I perfected my deviled eggs. So sorry, y'all, can't give you all the ingredients in there. It's not a lot, but it matters because not everybody does it. So yeah, once I had my deviled eggs right, I did go ahead and pipe them back into the egg halves and then put them in the refrigerator. And now I'm gonna be making some cream corn, y'all. So you just see me taking the corn off the cob, y'all. This is why you don't do part of this order. I had to do Instacart, and they sent me some bad corn, so I didn't have as much as I wanted. And but the point is to get that corn off the cob and then go and scrape and try to get as much of that milk out of that corn. That's what they call it, like a milk, to get it out and use as much of it as possible. Okay, and then so here what you just see me doing is playing around in this hot pan with this salt pork, because that's what that's what you use to make some good cream corn. I ain't saying it's good for you, but I'm just trying to render the fat off this salt pork a little bit, like until it's where I want it. And then I'm gonna take the oil from it, and I'm gonna use it to fry my corn. All right, so here I am, just putting some of that corn that I shaken up the carb. I did intend for this to be more, of course, but just use what I got. And yeah, so just going and just moving this around in the pan, making sure it gets a good fry before I do anything else to it. I did end up frying that for probably about 5-6 minutes, and then I went in with some butter, some sugar, and I'm just gonna keep mixing that in till it's to my liking. And then I'm gonna go in with some of that unsalted chicken broth that I used earlier in my greens and in my chicken. Oh no, that I use, yeah. Anyway, so that I use in my greens, and then I'm gonna come, once that's cooked for a little bit, I'm gonna come with a cornstarch slurry, which is important. This is a cornstarch slurry. It's gonna thicken up real quick, and depending on how much you use, it might get a little too thick. So just be careful. It's equal parts cold water, equal parts cornstarch, and mix. You don't want to ever add straight cornstarch to hot liquid, because if you do, it'll clump up. All right, and then this is me at the end. I just added a little bit of milk in there before, and that's what gave it that white color. Now this is my stew. It was boiling a little bit more than I wanted, because I wanted more of a braise, and I didn't realize that it was kind of boiling that fast. But it's all good at the end of the day. But I did what you saw, the white stuff. That was a flour slurry, because I wanted to thicken up more of a gravy. Now, like I said at the beginning, I could have probably used a little less water, but I did want to make sure I had enough for the rice that we were eating. But touche. All right, these are my greens once they were pretty much done. My collards were done, and I told you the collards and cabbage. I never cooked cabbage for a long time. I don't like done cabbage because it gets stringy. If you know, you know. But I do, when I cook collards and cabbage, I cook my collards so they're almost all the way done. And then I come through with my chopped cabbage and put it on top and let it steam on top for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then once it's soft enough, I go through, make sure everything is seasoned, and I mix well. And then this is what they end up looking like when it's done, So yeah, that's that. So all these is using these Temu items. These pots and stuff did not fail me, y'all. I'm telling you, they're just as good as any pots I had in the cabinet, And of course, these measuring cups and measuring spoons were just as good. Right here, I'm about to make some biscuits. So I did use 2 cups of self-rising flour, and I just grated some frozen butter in there and just give it a light mix. Don't handle it too much. And then I put this whole thing back in the freezer for another 10-12 minutes, because I noticed that's to making it good biscuits, you want it cold. And these are some measuring cups that I got from Temu. My old ones, you can't even see the numbers on them. So they came with 3 different sizes. God knows I needed it. This just came out of the freezer. Just once again, keeping everything cold. This is cold buttermilk. Cold butter. It's about 1.25 cups of buttermilk. And I just went in and mixed that up. Yeah, I just skipped that part, but I mixed it well with my hands without over mixing. And I floured my cutting board. Put that the dough down, and I just kept flipping it like each side like a book, just to create those layers that I want whenever I'm going for a good biscuit. Just flip one side, flip the other side, and pat it out. And then once I've done that probably about 10 or 12 times, this is me just flouring it so it don't get too sticky. I take my biscuit cutter, which I also got from Temu, and the key to this, do not twist. Just straight up and down. Straight up and down. So, making these biscuits, self-rising flour, a teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar, buttermilk, and a stick of butter. Those are the ingredients for these biscuits. Very simple, not a lot to do. The only thing I hate about it is it gets messy. It does, but it is what it is. You gotta clean up along the way. Now, I've only made so many biscuits, I just take my scraps and, you know, put them together and do that same technique over again until I've used all my dough. And these are what my biscuits look like coming out of the oven. I had already put some butter on top, put a little bit more. And here's a serving dish that I got from Temu. It's heavy and handmade. And I mean, what? I mean, it's not, I mean, who can be mad at that? You know, Temu, y'all leave Temu alone. Temu got some stuff, man. Yeah, I just put my biscuits in here. Look at that. Oh, what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, and this is my devil egg cutting board. I just never seen anything like that. It's a good thing to serve. So, like, if you hosting or whatever and you want to serve your deviled eggs up here, that's what I got, y'all. This is my finished dinner, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all get over to Temu and check out some of their products, y'all. Don't just look delicious. Make sure you use my code KAB6724. Get you a $20 off coupon. All right, y'all. Stay tuned.